Hello, and welcome to the final chapter of this fascinating adventure. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I just wanted to say thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope it helped you gain a deeper understanding of yourself, like it did for me. It definitely inspired me to get in touch with the natural world a bit more, so get ready for a lot more videos in nature. Now sit back, relax, grab your drink, and enjoy the read. August finally came in with a blast that shook my house and augured like little Augustus City. I made raspberry jello, the color of rubies in the setting sun. Mad, raging sunsets poured in sea foams of cloud through unimaginable crags, with every rose tint of hope beyond. I felt just like it, brilliant and bleak beyond words. Everywhere, awful ice fields and snow straws. One blade of grass jiggling in the winds of infinity, anchored to a rock. To the east, it was gray. To the north, it was gray. To the north, awful. To the west, raging mad. Hard iron fools wrestling in the Grumian gloom. To the south, my father's mist. Jack Mountain, his 1,000-foot rock that overlooked 100 football fields of snow. Cinnamon Creek was an eyrie of Scottish fog. Shoal lost itself in the golden horn of bleak. My oil lamp burned in infinity. Poor gentle flesh. I realized there is no answer. I didn't know anything anymore. I didn't care, and it didn't matter. And suddenly, I felt really free. Then would come really freezing mornings, cracking fire. I'd chop wood with my hat on, earmuff cap, and would feel lazy and wonderful indoors, fogged in by icy clouds. Rain thunder in the mountains, but in front of the stove, I read my Western magazines. Everywhere snowy air and wood smoke. Finally, the snow came, in a whirling shroud of Hosamine by Canada. It came swirling my way, sending radiant white heralds through which I saw the angel of light peep in the wind rose. Dark low clouds rushed up as out of a forge. Canada was a sea of meaningless mist. It came in a general fanning attack, advertised by the seam in my stovepipe. It rammed it, to absorb my old blue sky view, which had been all thoughtful clouds of gold, far the rum-dum-dum of Canadian thunder, and to the south another vaster, darker storm closing in like a pincer. But Hosamine Mountains stood there, returning the attack with a swirl of silence. And nothing could induce the gay golden horizons far northeast, where there was no storm, to change places with desolation. Suddenly, a green and rose rainbow shafted right down into the Starvation Ridge, not 300 yards away from my door. Like a bolt, like a pillar, it came among steaming clouds and orange sun turmoiling. What is a rainbow, Lord? A hoop for the lowly. It hooped right into Lightning Creek. Rain and snow fell simultaneously. The lake was milk white, a mile below. It was just too crazy. I went outside and suddenly my shadow was ringed by the rainbow as I walked on the hilltop, a lovely haloed mystery making me want to pray. Oh Ray, the career of my life is like a raindrop in the illimitable ocean which is eternal, awakenerhood. Why worry ever anymore? Write and tell Japhie that. The storm went away as swiftly as it came, and the late afternoon lake sparkle blinded me. Late afternoon, my mop drying on the rock. Late afternoon, my bare back cold as I stood above the world in the snowfield digging shovelful into a pail. Late afternoon, it was not the void that changed. Warm rose dusk, I meditated on the yellow half moon of August. Whenever I heard thunder in the mountains, it was like the iron of my mother's love. Thunder and snow, how shall we go? I'd sing. Suddenly came the drenching fall rains, all-night rain, millions of acres of bow trees being washed, and in my attic, millennial rats wisely sleeping. Morning, the definite feel of autumn coming, the end of my job coming. Wild, windy, cloud-crazed days now, a definite golden look in the high noon haze. Night made hot cocoa and sang by the wood fire. I called Han Shan in the mountains. There was no answer. I called Han Shan in the morning fog. Silence, it said. I called. Dipankara instructed me by saying nothing. Mists blew by. I closed my eyes. The stove did the talking. Woo! I yelled, and the bird of perfect balance on the fir point just moved his tail. Then he was gone and distance grew immensely white. Dark wild nights with hint of bears. Down in my garbage pit, old soured solidified cans of evaporated milk, bitten into and torn apart by mighty behemoth paws. Avalokitesvara, the bear. Wild cold fogs with awesome holes. On my calendar, I ringed off the 55th day. My hair was long, my eyes pure blue in the mirror, my skin tanned and happy. All-night gales. I just got bit again. Bastards. All-night gales of soaking rain again, autumn rain. But I warm as toast in my bag, dreaming of long infantry scouting movements in the mountains. Cold wild morning with high wind, racing fogs, racing clouds, sudden bright suns, the pristine light on hill patches, and my fire roaring with 3 big logs as I exulted to hear Bernie Byers over the radio telling all his lookouts to come down that very day. The season was over. I paced in the windy yard with a cup of coffee forked in my thumb, singing Blueberry Dubbery, the chipmunks in the grass. There he was, my chipmunk, in the bright, clear, windy, sunny air, staring on the rock. Hands clasping, he sat up straight, some little oat between his paws. He nibbled. He darted away, the little nutty lord of all he surveyed. At dusk, big wall of clouds from the north coming in. Brr, I said, and I'd sing, Yar, but my she was yar. Meaning my shack all summer, how the wind hadn't blown it away. And I said, pass, 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 that which passes through everything. 60 sunsets had I seen revolve on that perpendicular hill. The vision of the freedom of eternity was mine forever. The chipmunk ran into the rocks, and the butterfly came out. It was as simple as that. Birds flew over the shack rejoicing. They had a mile-long patch of sweet blueberries all the way down to the timberline. For the last time, I went out to the edge of Lightning Gorge, where the little outhouse was built right on the precipice of Steep Gulch. Here, sitting every day for 60 days in fog or in moonlight, or in sunny day or in darkest night, I had always seen the little twisted, gnarly trees that seemed to grow right out of the mid-air rock. And suddenly, it seemed I saw that unimaginable little Chinese bum standing there, in the fog, with that expressionless humor on his seamed face. It wasn't the real-life Jaffe of rucksacks and Buddhism studies and big mad parties at Corte Madera. It was the realer-than-life Jaffe of my dreams. And he stood there saying nothing. Go away, thieves of the mind, he cried down the hollows of the unbelievable cascades. It was Jaffe who had advised me to come here, and now, though he was 7,000 miles away in Japan answering the meditation bell, a little bell he later sent to my mother in the mail, just because she was my mother, a gift to please her, he seemed to be standing on Desolation Peak by the gnarled old rocky trees, certifying and justifying all that was here. Jaffe, I said out loud, I don't know when we'll meet again or what'll happen in the future, but desolation, I owe so much to desolation. Thank you forever for guiding me to the place where I learned all. Now comes the sadness of coming back to cities, and I've grown 2 months older, and there's all that humanity of bars and burlesque shows and gritty love, all upside down in the void. God bless them. But Jaffe, you and me forever, we know. Oh, ever youthful, oh, ever weeping. Down on the rosy reflections of celestial vapor appeared, and I said, God, I love you, and looked up to the sky and really meant it. I have fallen in love with you, God. Take care of us all, one way or the other. To the children and the innocent, it's all the same. And in keeping with Jaffe's habit of always getting down on one knee and delivering a little prayer to the camp we left, to the one in the Sierra, and the others in Marin, and the little prayer of gratitude he had delivered to Sean Shack the day he sailed away. As I was hiking down the mountain with my pack, I turned and knelt on the trail and said, Thank you, Shack. Then I added, blah, with a little grin, because I knew that shack and that mountain would understand what that meant, and turned and went on down the trail back to this world. The end. Thanks for watching.